Good morning, everybody. This is day 12, and uh, we are in Durham uh, this morning. We came last night, and we're going to visit Joni's parents. We haven't seen them in a while, so we're here for a couple of days, and we're doing day 12 of Purpose Driven Life. And this is the two parts on friendship with God. And yesterday, day 11, we talked about friendship with God, and we talked about two things to help develop friendship with God: constant conversation, talking with God faithfully and regularly. And the second thing we talked about was meditation. Meditation. Um, Meditation upon God's Word and meditating upon God and learning more about Him that way. Now, today, day 12, we're going to cover four of these things. And I had a little debate going on inside of my brain as I was reading this. I thought, man, this is so good. Maybe I should read, just do one, just do the number three. But I think I'm going to stick with the plan and see if I can't push through this thing. I don't want to lose the value of, of some of these. And so let me just read some of this. James 4:8. Draw near to God, and He will draw near to you. That's such a vital principle for Christian living and for our faith in God. And so let me let me read this opening paragraph. You need to go, if you've got this book, go read day 12. It's just so packed full of great information. You are as close to God as you choose to be. Whoa. You are as close to God as you choose to be. Like any friendship, you must work at developing your friendship with God. It won't happen by accident. It takes desire, time, and energy. If you want a deep, more intimate connection with God, you must learn to honestly share your feelings with Him, trust Him, and when He asks you to do something, learn to care about what He cares about and desire His friendship more than anything else. So, there's all the chapter kind of summed up, but the principle number three. Number one is constant communication. Number two is continual meditation upon God's word. And number three, I must be honest with God. So number three is total honesty with God. Um, I think about people who were honest with God when you read the Bible and you read about David in the Psalms. And he was so honest, and some of his Psalms are so deep and transparent, and he's complaining or lonely or depressed or anxious or fearful for his life. And he's just real honest. He doesn't put this plastic, fake coating on his Psalms. They're just very real. And God did that for us. God actually used David to teach us how to be honest with him. And then Abraham was really honest with God when he was questioning God's judgment of Sodom and Gomorrah, and he wanted to make sure God was righteous and just. And I like this page 96 in the book. Genuine friendship is built on disclosure. What may appear as audacity, God views as authenticity. Just being real with God. God listens to the passionate words of his friends. He is bored with predictable, pious cliches. To be God's friend, you must be honest to God, sharing your true feeling, what you think, not what you think you ought to feel or say. I like he quotes William Backus, and people often blame God for hurts caused by others, and this creates what William Backus calls your hidden rift with God. Some people are angry with God and they don't have a close relationship because deep down inside they're angry and they're holding on to it. Their hidden rift, their hidden argument, they think they have a just reason to be angry with God, and actually none of us has a just reason to be angry with God. Um, so, number three, honesty with God. Be honest with God. Number four, obey God. Obedience is a key to a friendship with God. God invites us to be a friend, but He's always God. He's God. We'll never be equal with God, but we can be intimate with God. Jesus made it clear that obedience is a condition of intimacy with God. He said, "You are my friends if you do what I command." Now, your other friends don't get to tell you that. Your friends, your spouse, your other people don't get to tell you that and say, "Well, you can be my friend if you do whatever I command," because they're not God. And God is God, and yet He invites us into a friendship, but He says, "You need to obey me." remember who I am. You want to be my friend? Of course, I want to be your friend. But we need to make sure we understand our relationship correctly. We are friends with God, but we are not his equals. He is our loving leader, and we follow him. We obey God not out of duty or fear or compulsion, but because we love him and trust that he knows what is best for us. We want to follow Christ out of gratitude for all he has done for us. And the closer we follow him, the deeper our friendships become. So, such a vital, important thing. God is more pleased with us when we do small things for him out of loving obedience. They may be unnoticed by others, but God notices them and considers them acts of worship. So, number four, we must obey God. Obey him, and you'll grow closer to him. It's that simple. Number five, I must choose to value what God values. If I want to be friends with God, then I need to learn what matters to him, and it must begin to matter to me. Paul is the best example of this. God's agenda was his agenda. Do they care about um, uh, God's passion was his passion? And 2 Corinthians 11:2, the thing that has upset me is that I care about you so much. Is about you so much. This is the passion of God burning inside me. So Paul cared about the Corinthians because God cared. And so Paul had embraced and taken the heart of God into his own heart. And David said, passion for your house burns within me. So those who insult you are also insulting me. And Jesus later quoted that quote, that zeal for the house of God was burning in Jesus. And if you want zeal in your heart for the things of God, then you must learn to value what God values. And then number six, 5+1, number six. Number six is desire friendship with God more than anything. Treasure God. Treasure that friendship. Build on it. Think about it. Keep it close to you. David passionately desired to know God above all else. Psalm 27:4, the thing I seek most of all is the privilege of meditating in his temple and living in his presence every day of my life, delighting in his incomparable perfections and glory. Psalm 63:3, your love means more to me than life. I just think this is great. Intimate friendship with God is a choice, not an accident. You must intentionally seek it. Do you really want it more than anything? What is it worth to you? Is it worth giving up other things? Is it worth the effort of developing the habits and skills required? So here we go. We're back to this simple statement. You are about as close to God as you choose to be. I say that a lot, and I think about it a lot, and it bothers me because I'm not as close to God as I would like to be. But I make choices every day, and I choose to do other things, and my priorities get all screwed up sometimes, and I want to go back to putting God first, and it reminds me, it's, oh Lord, you are worthy of this great pursuit to be a friend with God. Some of you are my friends. I maybe don't know everyone that will listen to this, but some of you I know well, and you're my friends. And I like to spend time with you. I like to see you. I like to smile at you. I like to hug you. I like to give you a high five, or I like to hear you talk to me about your kids or your grandkids, or if you're a younger friend and like, what are you into? What are you doing? Tell me about your ball game. Tell me about where you hope to go to college. If you're in college, like, what are you dreaming about? Two young kids come up and they say, we're getting married. And so, oh, how exciting. Tell me about it. I want to hear about you. And that's what God is telling us. He wants to hear about us. He's like, I'm excited. Tell me what's on your mind. What's on your heart? What has you down? What has you excited? And to be a friend with God like that is going to take some work. And the reason is you can't see God and reach out and touch him, but you can know him in your heart, and you can have spiritual eyes, and you can feel the spiritual presence of God. But you're going to have to pursue it. Are you willing? Are you ready? Get some amens out there. High fives. Yes. Friendship with God. God bless you today. Seek his friendship. Learn to put into practice these things we've been talking about. I want to try to do the same thing. I want to get better at it. I want to work at it. I want to work on my friendship with God. I hope you do too. God bless you, and go be a friend of God today.